guys, it's me, FocusedTiff. I'm here poolside at my place. It was a hot day, 100 degrees. It's still kind of hot, and I just decided to come to the pool and hang out and chill, you know. TGIM, thank God it's Monday kind of days, you know. But today I want to talk about how do you actualize your vision, okay? And when it comes to actualizing your vision, you need to make sure that first you have it down somewhere where you can look at it. Like having a vision board is very important. A vision board will show you, a vision board is actually, if you don't know how to make one, is you go get a poster board from Target, Walmart, anywhere that has supplies. And then you get some magazines and you take out pictures and clippings of stuff that you see yourself being and doing. Download some stuff off the internet, print them out, and just put them on your vision board, and make sure your vision board is somewhere in plain sight where you can see it in early mornings and before you go to bed at night, so you can always be looking at your vision. But once you do that, you need to write your vision out. I can't really go into details of how you write your vision, but I do recommend this resource by Miles Monroe. It is called The Power and Purpose of Vision. I believe that's the title. That's the name of the title. But you can just go to Amazon and look up Miles Monroe and Power and Purpose of Vision. And I'm sure you'll be able to find it. And also get the workbook when you purchase it. It was a tremendous help with me. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be able to write your vision quickly. I mean, you shouldn't be able to write your vision for your life that fast. But it's going to take some time, and you're going to go through some development in your own life as you are writing it. And once you have it written, you need to see how do you get that vision off of paper and into true actualization in your life. You have to realize the truth and admit that your bright future that you have on your vision board will not transpire and materialize until you make some big changes. You know, real leaders have to make hard decisions. And some of those hard decisions, when you're making them, will come with the feeling of exhilaration, where you are feeling energized about what your future is to bring, because you're really super excited about it. But then at the same time, you're going to be faced with fear. And the fear is related to what could happen, what might happen, what would happen if you actually go through the doors of your future. And when you take out the time to weigh the options, a big uneasiness will leave you. This uneasiness, oh God, that was a B. This uneasiness that, what was I saying? This uneasiness disappears once you begin to really, really weigh your options. Because you are sitting here and you're saying, wow, like I can really do this, and I can really make these things happen. But at the same time, you have to get determined to face reality, which can be motivating and scary. It could be motivating because you're like, oh yeah, like I'm about to really stop going to this 9-to-5 and I'm about to live my dreams. And you could be so excited about that. But then at the same time, it's like, well, I don't have enough money saved up yet. So then you know, battling with that. And then while you're trying to start saving your money, it's like all of these things start happening, and, you know, the car breaks down, or somebody needs something. You know, it's always some bills coming up when you have kids. So all of these things might start happening. It's like, I can't even save no money to start. So this is where the hard decision takes place. Okay? Because a lot of times you're not going to be able to just plan your way like this. You're going to have to cross the divide, and you're going to have to face your fear of not having enough finances, and then, or your other fears that you may have. And then you're going to also have things that you have to deal with relationally and emotionally. Just like some people who are in close relationship with you, they might not understand what you are going to in your dreams. And even though you told them about your vision board, you told them that you wrote your vision and all of that, when they start seeing you actually move, they're going to be kind of like in shock. And then you're going to go through things emotionally because you might not feel ready to go through things. But I'm going to let you know one thing, that doing these things and moving ahead, you're going to have to be strong emotionally, because you will be tried and attacked. And you have to be willing to stand strong in the joy of the Lord, because the joy of the Lord is our strength. If we stay connected to God, He will continue to keep us strong in His joy. And if we stay strong in His joy, then the emotions that we deal with in this process will be, He'll take care of it, because you have to stay connected to Him. These bees are getting on my nerves, you guys. Okay. So yeah, staying connected to the vine. John 15:5 is an important principle in actualizing your vision. Because your faith will be tested. When you take that one step out and say, well, look, I'm not going back to this 9 to 5. I'm really going to do this. Or if you make another decision relationally, like, I have to cut away from this relationship, and if I want my dreams to come true, so you're gonna have to make that decision and deal with whatever sadness that may take place or whatever, and go ahead and move forward. Because you have to be determined as well. That's what I want to say. You have to be determined to learn new skills, because you're gonna have new skills. These bees are getting oh my God. Okay. You have to be determined to learn new skills. You don't have to have no fears of bees. That's one thing I wish I didn't have, was a fear of the bees. Be determined to learn new skills, one. And then also be determined to learn new habits, and be determined to get rid of your old habits or your bad habits that are hindering you from your success, because you'll never move forward if you continue in the bad habits. You have to learn how to cut those off. I'm sorry. Also, you have to be ready to give. You have to be ready to take action. What do I mean by taking action? Oh, sometimes you just have to move, because you could be talking about something for so much, and you talk about it to people, and they're like, yeah, I believe you. But if you don't take action, then you're going to stay there. You're going to stay talking about it. And people will call you a dreamer. And they'll say, and real friends will challenge you about it. They'll say, well, whatever happened to that book you said you was going to write 3 years ago? And then, that'll strike a chord in you, like, you're right, I need to finish my book. Or they'll say, well, I thought you were going to audition for such and such show. So you make that decision, and you take action, and you actually go out there and do that thing. So number 2, you have to give up on what's not working. And usually what the things that are not working are like what I was talking about earlier with having bad habits, and you need to let the bad habits go. Or maybe it might be a job, and just like every time you get there, it's just so draining, and you can't even focus on the vision that you're doing. And it's like, this job just takes too much energy. The commute is long. Everything is just draining, and I can't go forward. So you have to be willing to give up on what's not working. Number 3, you need to focus your attention on the changes that must be made. Now, when I say the changes that must be made, those are the things where you begin to say, well, you have all this stuff written out, and it's like, I need to do this, and this to change my life. And you need to focus in on those things and do them consistently, ebulliently, without looking to the left or right and getting distracted, because there are so many distractions that will take place once you realize the road that you need to take and carrying out those changes that you need to do. I'm sorry. Woo. You guys, I am parched. My mouth is dry. Don't talk this much. But it's hot out here. Whew, I won't complain. I'm gonna get through this video, you guys. Also, remember, there is always a cost that you're going to run into when you're actualizing your vision. What's holding you back from executing your vision? A lot of times we hang on to things way too long when we know we need to get rid of them and chop them off. I know you had, well, maybe, I don't know. Some people probably married their high school sweethearts, so they might not have had to do this. But usually in a relationship, sometimes, I've been there. I don't know if you've been there, but you can hold on to a relationship for so long because you're afraid to let that person know, like, this is not going to work. And as soon as you make the decision to go ahead and let them know, it becomes freeing. But then it's like sometimes that person is not ready to let go, and so then you have to deal with their emotional stuff, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff that takes a lot of emotional energy, which I said that you need to be connected to the Lord so that you will be able to move past that. But make sure that you are not hanging on too long in your own mind so that you can really begin to move forward. Because when you hold on to something for too long, it drags you and you aren't really able to move ahead with a persistence and focus. Another thing that gets in our way is that we're afraid of the unknown. We don't know what's about to happen. We can't really see, like, we see the vision out ahead, but we don't see, like, what's going to happen, like, right when we quit our jobs. Like, ooh, like, what do I be faced with? Like, am I going to have food in the house? Am I going to have gas in the car? Am I going to be able to purchase this? Am I going to have capital? Am I going to have somebody to invest in the business? What if nobody calls me back from the audition? You're going to be faced with these thoughts. And when you have too much fear, you're not going to move. Fear paralyzes you. What you need to do is put your faith in God. Not put your faith in faith. Put your faith in God. Now, putting your faith in God means that you must believe that He exists. If you don't believe that He exists, and you don't believe that He can do it, then it's going to be really hard to believe that He can pull you through to the vision that He has shown you. Okay? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, right? You hope to God for something, and you hear from God about something, and then you begin to take action, because faith without works is dead. You can't have faith and not have the works, because faith without works is dead. So you have to begin to move forward. And you can't really do that if you're just like hoping, or you're just having faith and not faith in God. So you have to believe that God is actually, He's big, He's great, He's strong, He's magnificent. He's made the whole universe. And if you don't believe that, if you don't believe He spoke this world into existence, if you don't believe that He's almighty and all powerful, then how can you believe that He will bring your vision to pass? That's just like, you don't have a real faith. Your faith is not standing on the rock. And you have to look at what your foundation is and go back to your salvation, to believing in Christ. Another thing that we have to face is a fear of confrontation, and that's with others. Once we tell them about our vision. Now, I kind of spoke about this earlier, but people who love you will be like, oh, well, if you go ahead and you become a missionary, like, how you gonna take care of the bills? Or if you really go out and start living in Los Angeles and Hollywood, like, how are you going to do that? Like, how, and they start asking you all these how questions, when those are the questions that you've been asking to God and relying on him and your faith in him to bring it through. So you can't allow other people's fears for your life to get in the way. You have to keep pressing forward, and you might have to face some enduring times where the things that they said, like, how are you going to do this, where you're going to have to actually just trust God and move through them. And when they ask you those stuff, you just tell them, I believe God. I mean, if you really do, if you believe God, say I believe God, and that's how you deal with those things. Those are called like our giants, and they're not really giants if you believe in God, because God is greater, he's bigger, he's our healer, he's everything, and so those things become really minor when you look at how magnified God is. When you magnify the Lord, those things are really small. We don't want to hurt the feelings of other people when we're moving to the next level. And some people might be hurt in the process. They don't want to see you go. Your coworkers be like, oh, I'm gonna miss you. Like, we had so many good talks and all of that stuff. It's just time to move on to your next season. I mean, we all got Facebook now. Like, most of us do. The people who don't choose to get on Facebook, well, hopefully we got phone numbers, and maybe we can have lunch every now and then. That's just how it has to be. Because you can't move forward if you're holding on to other things in the past and looking back. You try to move forward and look back at the same time, you're going to run into something. We're afraid to let go because we don't really want to deal with the sadness associated on endings. A lot of times when we end something, we get sad. We miss going to that job. We miss those people. We miss talking to so-and-so on the phone. But I mean, really, was it really getting you any closer to your vision doing that? Are you going to really be able to help more people the longer you stay around and do the stuff that you want to do? Or if you start listening to where God has you going and you do that? This video is long, you guys. We've had too many people and when you have too many painful endings, you don't really want to go through that anymore. And if you have a personal history of it and it's been really hard for you, you just try to avoid those endings. And so you never really move forward in your life because you don't like ending things, and you get super emotional and you don't like the way those emotions feel. And you still haven't really got to a place where you give those emotions over to God. Like I said before, that you have to stay connected to the vine so he can help you with your emotions. Oh, Jesus. Those bees. Okay. When an ending is forced. Okay, this is the last thing that I want you guys to really, really, really listen. Sometimes an ending can be forced on us. This happens when we take too long to make a decision, to take an action in our lives. And it's time. Like God said it's time. And so what it end up happening is, like, you heard him say in your ear and whisper in your ears, like, it's time to leave that job. But you don't take the initiative yourself to leave. You end up getting laid off or fired. That way, God is pushing and moving you towards where he wants you to be. But you are sitting there now looking at the situation all depressed, sad, because you were forced out of it instead of leaving when you had the opportunity to leave the way that he told you to leave. Those are really like valuable lessons, because I really, I don't even know if I could share on that level with you guys, because I've been pushed out a lot of things before because I wasn't really ready to say bye and make that necessary ending. But in the process, when you are forced out of those places, you get to a place where you end up floundering and sinking, and it's like you go to like a low place, and if you had left when God said to leave, you wouldn't have cut that off when God told you to, you wouldn't have felt that floundering and that sinking feeling, because you would have been connected to the Lord. He would have been giving you his strength through the joy, your joy in him, and being connected to him. And you guys, you would have been on the road with the Lord. How can two walk together except they be agreed? If God is telling you to go one place and you walking in a whole nother direction, you are not agreed with the Lord. You cannot walk with God and disagree with him. You're going to be walking on your own path, and his will eventually happen, whether it's his permissive will or his perfect will. His permissive will might end up being that you get forced out of a situation that you got yourself into, and even in that, you're gonna have some pain. But would you rather have pain on the front end or pain on the back end? Would you rather the pain of discipline or the pain of what happens after when you didn't do things right? That second pain is a lot harder than the pain of discipline. You have to be disciplined and diligent in what the Lord says. Guys, this is just how I've been living for the last 11-12 years of my life. Each time I've had to make some breaks, and they've all been for my good. For all things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Some of the times I was forced into the situation because I couldn't stop doing something, or I couldn't let something go, or I wasn't ready to move on, and so I was forced there. Other times I just made a hard decision and said, look, I can't move forward in this any longer because I know that my purpose is greater. Either way it goes, God has still pulled me towards my vision and what I've been focusing on. It took me a long time to write it, even though I saw it years and years ago. It took me a really long time to write it. So I just hope you guys, at least if you haven't written it down yet, get to doing your vision board and write it. And if you have written it down, begin to make those hard decisions. All right, you guys, please visit my blog, my site at www.FocusedTiff.com. Visit my site at FocusedCreatingWealth.com. And I'll see you guys later. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube page. All the links will be listed below on the YouTube site. All right, guys. Later.
Our God is greater. Our God is stronger.